Borderlands 4 and its minimum specs for PC have been released officially, and here is why they are not as great as we were probably expecting. What's going on, guys? Bflattened here with a brand new video. Today we're going to be talking about the minimum required specs and also just specs in general, and also backed up with some statistics on why these specs are going to be absolutely insane. No gameplay today. I don't really feel like downloading Borderlands and recording some gameplay, and I don't really feel like re-recording some of my old stuff. So we're just going to flip through some images together, have some discussion, and break down these spec stats for you. And I'm going to try to explain it for the non-PC folks the best that I can, and also do some console comparisons as well. So first off, the specs have been released. This is directly from Steam, from the system requirements. What we see up here is just exactly what is needed to play the game. Now, the first thing that we see is minimum and recommended. The minimum that we have here, 100 gigabytes available space. That doesn't necessarily mean that this is going to be a 100 gig download as soon as the game launches, but that's just how much available space is going to be needed. So, minimum specs are generally just a guideline for how the system is going to be running the game, obviously, the minimum required specs. So you're probably not going to be expecting to play the game on high or ultra high, and it looks like it's going to be sitting on a AMD Ryzen 7 2700X. Now, 2700X is exactly what I have, actually. I have an AMD Ryzen 7 2700X to the exact. Approximately 3 or 4 years ago, this is something that would be considered high-end, and when I originally built this PC about 6 or 7 years ago, this would be considered top of the line, kind of like completely out there. There's not really anything higher than this. So for it to be downgraded to minimum specs already feels kind of ouch. I spent a couple of $1,000s on this entire PC setup, and absolutely insane. But that's not the only insane thing that's here. There's one little thing in the very bottom here that is going to be completely throwing these minimum specs out the window. Requires 8 computer cores for processor. Now, most people have 6 cores in their computer, and most new processors are releasing with 6 cores, unless of course you have something Ryzen. I actually don't know how to pronounce it, but you know what I mean. When I built my computer originally, I was told Ryzen has a better upgrade path, a more linear upgrade path, a more obvious upgrade path. Frames are going to be a little bit lowered on the front of games, so unless I'm becoming a Fortnite pro, won't really need it that much. The cost is much lower, and also the big thing is that it's good at multitasking, which is what computer cores are essentially. The more multitasking that you can or cannot do is kind of what it comes down to. So a Ryzen 7 2700X does have 8 CPU cores. If you're Intel, doesn't matter how high you are, it's probably going to be 6, which means if you have an insanely high Intel i7, i9, whatever, you probably have 6 cores in your PC for your processor, which is absolutely nuts to think about, because if you really break that down, let's go ahead and take a look at a higher end Intel computer. Canadian price, but 6-core gaming PC, Ryzen 5. Oh, sorry, this was Ryzen, not Intel. Ryzen 5 5700 RTX, which is just below the minimum specs for the Ryzen 7. This is the higher end Ryzen 5, but it is 6-core PC. $2,600, give or take. Obviously, there's going to be a lot more websites and like local computer stores. This is just from one spot, but this is going to be the approximate. About $2,600 if you're going like pure non-upgrade, just like brand new PC. So keep that in mind. It's going to be around that price range, which is nuts because the game is $200 if you want the super deluxe, and on top of that, if you want to actually run the game, another couple grand you're looking at, pretty much right there. Um, these specs are crazy, and the way that they're coming from is from Unreal Engine 5. Unreal Engine 5 is very graphically advanced, and it's a big step up. The unfortunate part is that Unreal Engine 5 has it's been okay after updates and patches. However, launch not great. If you remember Black Myth Wukong, Black Myth Wukong could not even run on a console for I believe it was Xbox for what was it, a week before they had to like actually do emergency patches and updates just to be able to get the game to run. And it's not going to be releasing on older consoles, but even newer consoles are struggling with this. Speaking of newer consoles, it's supposed to be releasing on Nintendo Switch 2, which I don't know if people know this, but I used to crack open consoles and also like replace parts, fix things, look at like chips and stuff like that. Basically busting open a console and bringing it back to life. Nintendo Switch 1 had a chipset that was 2 years older than the actual initial release. I believe the Switch released in 2017. Its chipset was 2015. So on the launch of the Switch 1, it was already 2 years old. I don't know if the Nintendo Switch 2 has followed that suit because I haven't cracked one open yet or checked its chipset, but I imagine if it's going down the same direction, it's probably already 2 years old. Not also mentioning the dead pixels upon purchase. It's very, very tiny, but dead pixels are already happening as soon as you crack it out of the case. There's also battery swelling that's been announced as well. Battery swelling is essentially from lithium batteries. So lithium-ion batteries, when heat is applied to it in mass, so if you're turning on your Switch and playing and there's something intense going on, battery swelling can happen, which is just kind of like this puffy spot here that stretches out the internal of the Switch. It's not widespread, but it can happen. I'm just wondering how the hell is a Switch 2 supposed to run this? I imagine it's going to be like 30 FPS, and the graphics and just everything inside is going to be hydraulic pressed down to being able to crunch all of this extra like stuff out of it. I don't even know how it's going to run. Speaking of running, I found some comments on Twitter that I wanted to talk about and discuss as well. So let's go ahead and just crack these open. They weren't directed at me. I just found them in general and thought they were pretty good talking points. So Mental Mars posted that he purchased a new PC for Borderlands 3's release. We just talked about the Intel stuff. i9 9900K CPU, 2080 Super GPU, 32 gigs RAM, which knocked the Borderlands 3 recommended specs out of the park, but for Borderlands 4, I'm on the low end. That's low end. Next up, we have here this guy here. Pretty interesting comment here. According to Steam hardware surveys, which you can actually just type into Google and find out all these surveys, as of May 2025, the minimum specs stopped 50.14, 50%, half the people of CPUs from playing the game just solely off of core count. 50% of people, up approximately on average, run 6 cores or lower. And actually, if you look up the survey that he was looking at, a more detailed breakdown shows that 6 cores have 27% of people, 4 cores are 21%, and 2 cores are 9%. There is the 8 core of 32%, so 32% of people can play this. Granted, they have all the other minimum specs. But 27, 21, and 9 is telling us that we have approximately just over 50% of folks who have 6 cores or less. There's also a smaller percentage than 9 that have cores with 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, or 10 cores. Those are just completely anecdotal and not really worth mentioning, but they are on the list too. It's not 100% accurate, remember this list, but it gives us a good guideline as to where things are approximately. And finally, this one here I found kind of interesting. People are able to play Doom Dark Ages with 6-core CPUs, even though it says 8. So it's pretty fair to wonder if Borderlands 4 will run on 6-core CPU. Um, he is right. Um, Doom the Dark Ages does require an 8-core on their minimum specs, but people with 6 cores can play it. The problem that I don't think he was mentioning here is that Doom is not in Unreal Engine 5. Doom actually has its own dedicated server that's not, or engine, sorry, that is dedicated to like processing Doom. It has its own dedicated like stuff. Um, the problem that's coming in here is Unreal Engine 5 plus requiring 8 cores. So if this was something that was on your radar or something like that, that's going to be the biggest problem here. It's going to be really expensive. It's going to be really expensive to upgrade. For the PC folks out there, if you need to upgrade a processor, you're probably going to have to get a matching GPU with that. And you're also going to have to get a compatible motherboard, which is the trifecta of the PC. If you upgrade one or two, you have to upgrade the third to get something compatible in order to just get them all together. The trifecta, basically. These specs are absolutely crazy, especially with the asking price right on top of that. It's going to limit or even completely nullify people from playing the game at all. And I think a lot of people aren't going to realize just what that's like because I don't know if a lot of people are talking about this as they should. Let me know what you guys think about the whole specs thing and if I broke it down a little bit decently, and if you're on console, if I did some decent comparisons of PC to console stuff. Let me know what you guys think. We'll have some discussions. I know the last video have over 100 comments on it now. I responded to pretty much everybody. So let's have some discussions about this. Are you worried? Are you not? Where are you guys at? I'll see you guys in the next video. My name is Bflattened. I'm signing on out of here. Take care all. Laters.